quiero sufrir, pero sin ti, ¿cómo le hago? Mejor vuelve aquí entre mis brazos, con tu mano en mi mano, porque sin ti soy un fracaso. Ya no menciones el ayer, eso está en el pasado. Dime que tú vas a volver y que me has perdonado, porque yo sí te sigo amando. Quiero que tú sepas, sin ti estos días son raros, por eso seguiré rogando por tu amor. Que me olvide de ti, pero puedo sentir el corazón derrotado, y yo solo aquí me quedé. Sin tu amor yo nada valgo, mi amor yo sigo enamorado. Me prometiste una vez quedarte siempre a mi lado. Perdonado, porque yo sí te sigo amando. Quiero que tú sepas, sin ti estos días son raros, por eso seguiré rogando por tu amor. Por tu amor.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
Unfiltered, the real deal. No pre-planning, no chingaderas. Straight up from the bill.
Wacky Wednesday.
B-Town's very own.
It's Wacky Wednesday con El Bumper.
Here's your host, Bumper Gomez.
And welcome to another episode of Bumper's Wacky Wednesday, live from the studio here in San Antonio, Texas. Don't you wish we were in Cali, Des?
Yeah, man, I miss the beaches, bro.
You guys are in for a special treat tonight. Really been looking forward to this great interview. It's going to be a great interview. I'm telling you right now, this guy's vibe, I've only been in his presence for probably 15 minutes, and the vibe is already, it's there, man. So you guys are in for a treat. So again, man, everybody watching from outside the Tejano world, welcome to Bumper's Wacky Wednesday, where we bring you the best Tejano interviews week in and week out throughout La Onda Tejana. And this week's going to be no different, man. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody tuning in from all over the United States. We got people watching from California, from Florida, from the Midwest, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, and of course, Texas, man. Thank you guys all for tuning in. And you guys, again, are in for a great show. And without further ado, my guest this evening, from the great state of California,
Órale.
right?
Yes, right, sir.
All right, so we're gonna talk a little Cali talk. So it might throw some Tejanos off. No, hombre, you guys are gonna be fine, man. Pico Rivera.
Pico Rivera, that's right.
Damn.
Yes, sir, all the way.
Pico Rivera. All right. So I told him Pico Rivera. For me, what I remember of Pico Rivera was that's where all the charreadas were.
Yeah.
If you don't know what the charreada is, it's a Mexican rodeo, and when you live in the Los Angeles County, Orange County area, there's no ranchos like there are here in Texas, right? But so when you could get to these rodeos, these charreadas are just they're a beautiful pageantry, and they were just awesome, man. A big part of our culture. So that's what I remember of Pico Rivera.
The sports arena.
The sports arena's there too. Of course, it's close to one of our favorite spots that I loved to go with my family. For the many years I lived in California, was the Santa Fe Springs swap meet, dude.
Yes, sir. That's right over the bridge for me, man. That's down the street from my mom's pad, right
Down
there.
the street.
Down the street, man.
So Des, do you like? Since we're talking about that area, I heard a story. You were raised there, so maybe you can vouch for this or not.
My whole life.
But I heard a story that they make something that we all love to put in our food very close to that area. It's sriracha hot sauce. You're looking at me like you don't know that.
I didn't know that. That's a new
okay.
fact. That blew my mind right now.
So the neighborhood that's by Santa Fe Springs swap meet.
Okay.
There is a factory there that makes sriracha hot sauce.
What?
Yes. So they make the sauce there, but for many years people have been complaining about. Like people have been sick, the fumes and stuff, and they blame the sriracha hot sauce. But keep making it because we love it.
The more you know, bro. I never knew that. That's crazy. Hey, I was right over the bridge and I didn't know that.
There you go. Your whole life. You
I probably got affected by the fumes and didn't even know.
You didn't even know.
I should apply for compensation, man.
So Des, growing up, dude, you grew up in California, and your background's mariachi, no?
Yeah, mariachi. My whole family. Really, I got introduced through my father and my mother. My mother sings, but she wasn't in a mariachi. Obviously, through my father is where I mostly knew it. My tío is Jose Hernandez from Sol de Mexico. Mm-hmm. But I grew up knowing my father in Los Galleros. So when I was a small child, Los Galleros were just disbanding de Pedro Rey, and then my tío Jose created Sol de Mexico. So I was introduced to that world and kind of sheltered into mariachi only, so I didn't know anything else. Right. But yeah, that's where it was really my brother who got me out of that genre. Not out of it, but helped me explore different genres like old lowrider oldies and big band like Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack and Brenton Wood and all those. And
you know what's funny, man? What I was really excited about is that we share some of the same love, right? But a lot of people don't know that I absolutely love mariachi music. Like, I could go days where I just listen to nothing but mariachi music, right? And not just your typical chante, like anything that's mariachi, I would jam it. I just love the music. I love the vocals, the passion, all that stuff. But dude, California is a different vibe than Texas. Absolutely. And there's always been that Chicano rivalry between Cali and Texas. And New Mexico and Arizona, they're just kind of stuck in the middle, right?
They're just like, I don't know.
They're going to go with Whataburger or they're going to go with In-N-Out?
They're the kids in the divorce, man.
So that's the first big question right now, Des. Now, remember, you're talking to probably a more predominantly Tejano fan base.
Oh, I know.
So your answer is going to be, so is it In-N-Out or Whataburger?
I always get asked this question. When I'm in Texas, it's Whataburger. Okay. Because I've tried In-N-Out here, and it doesn't cut the
mustard.
Not the Califas, man. The Califas is In-N-Out all the way. When I'm in Cali, I gotta have my In-N-Out. I gotta have it, man. But over here, and I told Shelly this, the first time I tried Whataburger was near Fort Hood, and it was garbage, man. I did not like it. It tasted like a bad Jack in the Box. And then she took me to one out here in San Antonio, and I was like, damn, I don't know what I was missing out on, man. Yeah. I fell in love with it for sure.
I always tell people this, it's two different burgers.
It is. Completely different.
Like if you're going to compare an In-N-Out burger compared to a Big Mac. Yeah. That's what it's closer, like as far as sauce, You know what I mean? 2 patties, kind of like.
Yes,
It's
a little
not.
more
It's not
basic.
like a typical hamburger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a regular. Well, we consider a hamburger down here in Texas.
Yeah.
So we got that out of the way. In-N-Out versus Whataburger.
I love both,
He
man. Like, I
answered.
love
There you
both.
go. That's the right answer right there. He loves them both. But growing up in the mariachi family, man, was music like around like 24/7.
24/7, man. My brother is 13 years older than me. So he was playing trumpet all the time around me. He was already gigging with my dad in the mariachi. My dad was always coming over in the charro suit, playing guitar around us. My mom was always singing. So, we would go to my Tío Jose's restaurant and listen to them sing. So it was always around. And really, that was kind of like what they wanted me to be in part of the family business. Like, we want you to be in the mariachi. Not saying that they wanted to put me in Sol de Mexico, but I mean, they wanted me to be part of mariachi so that I would stick to my roots and be with the culture. So my mom, I remember in school, she'd be like, you have to choose an instrument. And I went with violin for a bit. I was like, hell no, I don't like this. Then I saw my brother playing trumpet. I was like, damn, that's badass. I want to do that. So I did trumpet for a bit. And then I wanted to do sports, like any kid.
Yeah.
She was like, you can't do football. I was like, ¿por qué no? She was like, if you knock your 2 front teeth out, you can't play trumpet, so you can't do that. Hey, man, I joined it behind her back, and she was right, bro. I was not good over football. I was like,
Give me back that
bro.
trumpet. Give me back that
the
trumpet, man.
okay?
No, and the reason I bring that up is because, sometimes it's weird. Some of the people I have on here, like, they're not around no music. And then all of a sudden, they're just the one day it's like, hey, I want to sing, or, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's like, where does that come from? And it's perfect, right? Because you're in what's the word I'm looking for? You're around all of that all the time. That's your world.
Yes.
So it's normal to you.
Yes.
Right? It's not like you're just picking up something out of the blue and people are like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? So you stuck with the trumpet.
I stuck with trumpet, and I did that for a long while. Gigged with my dad a little bit with the mariachi, did the quinceañeras and the weddings and all that. But then I took a left turn and I stopped doing that, and I kind of went in a solo route. And I had an opportunity to go perform in El DF over in Mexico City, which at the time I didn't know how great these people were. But, I was really young to know who Fernando de la Mora and Manuela Torres and Angelica Maria. The only reason I knew Angelica Maria was because Betty La Fea, because I saw the show. And actually, they invited me to do Jose Jose medley because I was covering for some dude with my tío Chucho's big band over there.
So you were in the F during this time?
In El DF. Well, I was in Cali, and they invited me to go to El DF for about a week or so. And at that time, I didn't even know who Jose Jose was either. And I'm watching Betty La Fea, he's the dad in there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he was a singer because in the show, he's like, he lost his voice. So I was like, I would never know. My mom was like, ese es Jose Jose, güey, ¿cómo no sabes? So, but then, I started learning his songs. And I was like, damn, this dude's a legend. So they invited me to do a tribute to Eduardo Magallanes, who was a composer for Jose Jose and a lot of the greats and stuff. And so I went over there and I did the solo thing. And Eduardo Magallanes called me down and was like, hey, you remind me of, a young Jose Jose, but I want to see what you can do. I want to see how you look. How would you feel about moving to El DF for like 6 months? And do you know who Juan Gabriel is? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, maybe I can introduce you to him, but you'd have to stay here and commit. And this time I was going to have my firstborn. And I was like, I can't. So I had to choose family over dreams, So I took a left turn on that. I put music behind in the back burner. And then from there, I took a huge left turn, went into the military.
I want you to stop right there.
Yeah.
Stop right there in the military. Because literally, like, just sitting here, listening to you tell this story, right? What I find pretty crazy is that if you guys haven't seen the Netflix special of Vicente Fernandez, like, if you just heard his 2 or 3 minute story about what he gave up, what he did, what he could have done, where he went, and then he's like, nah, I can't. Like, literally, dude, have you seen Chent on Netflix?
I haven't seen it yet.
When you see it, you're gonna remember this conversation that we're having right now, right? Because he went through all these things.
Really?
Right? He went through, he wanted to sing, and his family needed him to work, and you know what I mean. Like he wanted to go to the city and make it, but then they were like, "Nah, you know." He's like, "Well, I got a family. I got to come home. I can't be here." So very similar to your story. You know what I'm saying? And now we're gonna get, like I told you guys, this is gonna be a great interview. He just did a hard right turn right now. I mean, we were in the Distrito Federal de Mexico ahorita, and we just made a right turn. We're probably gonna end up here somewhere in Killeen. I'm assuming. I'm gonna assume. So you joined the United States Army.
Yeah. I was actually working security in California at Traditions Country Club, which is Arnold Palmer's country club.
Okay.
So I was working there.
Do you drink Arnold Palmer's?
Yeah, the Arizonas for sure. But I was working there, and my supervisor, one of my supervisors, I was working night shift. He was a Marine. He was an ex-Marine.
Hey. He was a former Marine. There's never such
former
thing.
Marine. Oh, once a Marine, always a Marine.
That's right. There we go. You learn something new every day.
Once a devil dog, always a devil dog. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, but he was cool. He was a cool cat, man. And I kept telling him, I want to do something more with my life. I know I can't do the music thing anymore. Yeah. It's not possible. But I want to do something that my kid could look up to. I don't want to be doing these jobs and him in 20 years, him be like, "What are you doing?" Me be like, "I'm just a security guard kid." So he was like, "Join the military, bro." And I was like, "What? I don't know, man. I don't know about all that." He was like, "Dude, you can do it. I know you can." So I was like, "All right." I gave it a go. Signed my life away. Signed that dotted line for a little bit for a contract. And they sent my ass to Fort Sill for a little bit, and then back over here to Colina, Fort Hood.
So Fort Sill, I'm going to just take a guess that your MOS was artillery.
Yeah.
God dang. I'll tell you, man. I got a little bit. I know a little bit. No, man. So you end up here at
Fort Hood, Killeen.
It's not Fort Hood.
Fort Cavazos now.
Fort Cavazos.
Yeah,
there you go.
Man.
All right. Named after the first Mexican-American general ever in the United States Army. So just, Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, dude. We'll educate you here, man. We'll educate you here. So Dez, let's talk about your time in the Army, man. Because, for me, my time in the Marine Corps, I always tell the artists this, like, music is our outlet.
Yep.
Music is a service member's outlet.
Absolutely.
And no matter what your cup of tea is, no matter what kind of music you like, no matter what kind of day you have, you could always go back, listen to your music, and it would just, remind you of home, right? If you weren't in your home state, or, even if you were, but you just weren't where you grew up at, it just kind of gave you that nostalgia of being
the outlet.
The outlet, being back home. So you're in the Army, man. Had you ever been around Tejanos or other Chicanos outside of the Cali vibe?
Pico, so it's predominantly Chicano.
Yeah, for sure.
Mostly Latinos and stuff. I had never experienced so much multiculturalism in one platoon. Period. Well, there were 4 platoons there in my basic training, but I had never experienced so many different walks of life. And I made some lifelong friends, for sure. In the military, you will always have lifelong friends that you make. Even if you guys don't see each other for years, you guys will see each other again, and it'll be like you guys pick up right where you left off. Absolutely.
The accents, right? Like when people start speaking Spanish, you're like, what the hell did you just say, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro, you ain't from Pico Rivera. Where you from?
Yeah, it's a trip.
I'm from Puerto Rico, or I'm from the Dominican Republic, or I'm from Brooklyn, or the Bronx, wherever. You just get to meet so many, a well-rounded amount of people. Yeah. And I really wanted to, talk to you about that. Like, so being in the Army, you make, like you said, you make lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Of all kinds of races. Did you have any Tejano? Did you have any Chicano friends that were from Texas?
No. Surprisingly, no, man.
Really?
There was none. There were people, like you said, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Mexico, even people from Mexico, Louisiana, Guam. You know what I mean? I have a homie from Guam. Like, he taught me all about the islander culture, and I fell in love with them as well, man.
Well, let me tell you about Guam. It ain't very big.
Oh, no, it's not big.
It's 5 miles from one side to the other.
But it's a beautiful spot, man.
Look, our special guest in the audience this evening has been there, and she can vouch for exactly what I'm saying.
But it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
No, it is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
The water's beautiful. Human as hell. Water, and if you're going to ever float off the island of Guam, that is not the ocean that you want to float, because that's the Marianas Trench is right off the coast of Guam. So the deepest part of the ocean is
I'm good,
is right
bro.
there.
I'll stay on land. I'm good. I'll keep my feet grounded.
But the kind of reason that another reason that I bring up the the military and the lifestyle is because you get to really learn other people's stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure if you told your Puerto Rican friend, like, hey, man, I sing mariachi. You sing mariachi, and why the hell are you in here shooting big-ass cannons, 5 miles in 5 miles in the air? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And would you ever be in the barracks and just like...
I remember the first time that they found out I could sing... Well, first you're in reception, right? So you're with a different group of people at first.
Yeah, I got you.
And the first time I sang, I was saying like when they first put us into like the rooms and stuff, right? When they first throw you up into your room, you're tired as hell, haven't slept for 3 days, whatever. You get the peanut butter shots and all that. And I started singing.
Peanut butter shot.
Yeah. And
Shell, you don't know what the peanut butter shot does to you.
It's not fun. And I remember just singing. They were like, "Yo, you can sing." Drill Sergeant goes, "Anybody know this?" Drill Sergeant Percy, shout out to him. He goes, "Anybody know the Star Spangled Banner?" And they go, Hernandez knows how to sing. This dude knows how to sing. He goes, "Get up here, Hernandez." And my voice was gone from yelling. So I'm like yelling cadence at the top of my lung, trying to be all hoo.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Sing, you better not mess up." And I sing. He goes, "See that shit right there? That's America right there." You're going to sing the Star Spangled Banner from here on out every day, Hernandez. That shit was beautiful. And
so you had to sing it every morning.
Bro, that dude had me singing it all the time, Drill Sergeant Percy. And then I got to basic, and I got to tell you with a different group of people. And I remember we were all the dudes were doing laundry, and I started singing, "Lean on me when you're," and everybody was like, "What?" And then they started joining in. And then
3-part harmonies or what?
They started doing the freaking drum beats and all with pens. And I was like, this is lit. We had like the whole, until the drill sergeant saw us and I could see him like, damn, that's pretty cool. But then he came and he's like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Hey, the hell are you guys doing in here?
He let you go for a few seconds just so you could take it in and be like, all right, it's time for me to be the asshole.
Yeah.
Cut that shit out.
Ain't no fun going on here, privates. Yeah, but no, yeah, music was like our outlet, like you said. Every weekend when basically we kind of were just doing cleaning, like weapon cleaning or something, or we were cleaning our lockers or cleaning the bay. We were upstairs singing in our bay and stuff, And that was the question: what the hell are you doing here, dude? Why'd you join the army if you could sing? Like, well, I didn't think that this was gonna be a career for me anymore. So I have kids, man.
Hey, but you know what, man? I mean, the Army and the Navy and the Air Force, they got like, the Marine Corps does too, but they don't really have singers. Like the Marine Corps are big on the band, right?
Band.
You play
They're
play the instruments, right? But the Army, they got like a show band. Like there's dudes that's what they do. Like they go around and like they perform live.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They're singers. They perform like R&B. They perform everything. That's what their job is in the Army. That's what they do. They're entertainers. But yeah, man, that's cool. So being in the Army, you're a young guy. How old were you when you joined?
I was 21 and a half, I believe.
Hey, that's actually pretty old.
But I was grandpa. That's what they
that's
call
what
me.
I say. You're that's an older.
Man.
It's usually 17, 18, 19 tops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kids just trying to figure out what they have to do. But
Exactly.
Des, that we're on the military thing. I always tell people this, man. The military, for what it's worth, whether you do 3 years, 4 years, or 20 years or 30 years. What it does for people is I think it allows you, as being so young, you build a base that you're going to build the rest of your life on these principles, right? That maybe growing up, especially us, Chicanos, sometimes we don't always have the best the best upbringing, right?
Right.
We don't always have everything that we need in life, but the military gives you everything that you need to live, right?
Yep.
And you learn to take those things and you base the rest of your life on that. Like it builds a base for what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like you're not a soldier or Marine all the time. You're not going to get a high and tight haircut every 2 weeks, but you know what you learn there, you base everything off of it. That at least for me, that's kind of how I've seen it. And you know, we're going to get more into your career, but I just reading about you and what I know about you, it seems that you've kind of used that as like, you know, you just base from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, before the military, I was kind of lost on what I wanted to do, because all I wanted to do since I was a kid was, I just want to perform. I just want to sing. But, you know, that's not always a reality. You know, it's very hard to get into the circles sometimes. And being I'm a huge Michael Bublé fan. So I imitated him so everywhere I would sing, they'd be like, you sound like Michael Bublé, but you don't sound like David Hernandez.
What is, I'm not Shelly's going to give me the look. See, I already told you she's going to give me the look.
Michael Bublé,
what's his most popular song?
For me, yeah, they're covers. He has his own original music, which is they're really good. But
Sing the main song, Feeling Good.
Like Feeling Good, like birds flying high. You know how I feel. Sun in the sky. You know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Damn.
Yeah, so he's like a big cover artist, like for like the Rat Pack. He does a lot of Frank Sinatra. He does Billy Paul.
Well, that's the vibe I was getting, like an old school,
Nina
like an old
Simone.
school
Yeah,
big band, orchestra sound.
That's what, orchestra, big band. That's what he does. So I've been a huge fan of his since I was like 6th grade, man. My brother introduced me to him, and I used to think that all those songs were originals. That's how I really branched off to know he was covering Queen, and he was covering like a Billy
And then when
Paul.
you hear the original version, you're like, hey, hold on, he sings it better than
Some
the
of
original.
them was, you know, I was like, oh, I love his version, but damn, this person's really badass. You know, like Billy Paul and Freddie Mercury, because he did like this thing called love. You know,
That's good, man. You could do a jack of all trades and
Oh, he's a chameleon.
I love it all, man.
I'm telling you.
that's a hard thing to do, man. To like, you know, you know, in Tejano, a lot of my friends, they're artists, right? But I know some of them that if I was to give them a song, they're great entertainers and they can sing. But if you give them a certain song, there's no freaking way they can sing it because it's not in their range. Like they can't disguise their voice. Now, I'll tell you one who I saw this weekend. Well, not this weekend, a few weekends back, right? Disguises his voice very well is J.R. Gomez. J.R. Gomez, you're still learning.
No, I haven't.
But
I'm still learning.
J.R. Gomez, he's sang for Cumbia Kings.
Oh, snap,
he sang for
okay.
Jay Pettis. He's you know, he got his own and.
Right.
There's Shelley. Oh, here we go. Well, no, but I'm just saying, like there's people, there is people, but for the most part, the Tejano artists, like they know this is when they get a song, like, hey, I gotta stay in this range. There's no way I can go up here because it's just not gonna sound right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're able to do that and consistently do that, well, then you're gonna bring another level to the game here.
I hope so, man. I hope to. I mean, I have Shelly guiding me. She took me under her wing. I'm super privileged.
Don't bring her up yet, because we're not even there yet. We're still in Cali. We're still in Cali.
We're still in CA, man.
We're still here in Colleen over here. No, man. So, you know, joining the army, you do your thing. First let's back up just a little bit because it's Wacky Wednesday. Shit always happens. We're all over the place.
I feel you.
I want to know the conversation. I want to know the conversation and how it went when you went and talked to the recruiter and then you had to come home and face your parents and tell them like, hey, mijo that you wanted to be a musician now is, I'm going to go and sign my life on the line.
I was living in Palm Springs at the time when I went to the recruiter's office. And my mom was in Pico Rivera.
Uh-huh.
By this time, my father had passed the year before. So my father wasn't around anymore. And I had moved to Palm Springs. I was raising my newborn son, Isaiah, and I was working nights as security at Traditions. And then that idea came along. I went to the recruiter's office, and I took the ASVAB, and I did better than expected. And I was supposed to get a 35 series, which is military intelligence.
Yeah.
And it was like human analyst or something like that. And I got like big interest in that. I wanted to do either that, mortician specialist, or Calf Scout. Those are the three ones that I wanted to do.
Still, I do mortician specialist. Hell no.
Okay, I said those are my three top ones that I want to do. I said, if you guys don't give them to me, don't even call me back, And so he goes, well, you can come, you got a high IGT score, you scored high on the ASVAB, come back, and you're going to take a D-Lab. We're going to send you over to do this test that you have to, like, a made-up language.
Yeah.
And I go, cool. And I don't get a call back for a while. And I go, hey, Sergeant, I haven't gotten a call back. Like, where's the D-Lab going? But the Master Sergeant forgot to schedule me. So they skipped. That series went off the list. So that.
So you couldn't get that. You couldn't get those jobs anymore.
They were all gone. They were gone. So I was like, never mind. I don't want to do it. They go, we have something that might interest you. Just come in. I go, all right. But I doubt it. I go in. They show me the little 2-minute video. And some dudes freaking on missiles and stuff. And they're with the dun dun da 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 dun dun with the badass music. And I was like, no. They go, we'll give you $24,000. I was like, where's the paper? I've never seen that much money in my life.
But we'll give it to you after you graduate.
Oh, they didn't tell me that.
Yeah, they don't tell you that till after. They don't tell you that till after.
So,
sometimes they even give it to you in they'll give it to you in increments.
Which is what happened to me, man.
But you're right. Imagine talking to an 18-year-old kid. He's just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, what'd you say? Shit, I'll sign right here."
Hellcat's coming right away. Yeah.
So you get all this. You take it to your mom.
No, so my mom's like, she used to tell me, don't ever join the military because you'll give me a heart attack. You'll kill me, man. If you do that, that's like the worst panic for a parent. And I was like, I'll never join the military. No, hombre, bro. I came back with the biggest surprise. I go, Mom, I have so they gave me 3 months, I think. I forgot why. They made an exception for me. I was like, I don't want to leave because I was like, I don't really want this job, but I don't want to leave until after my son's first birthday. I can't miss that. They were like, all right, well, we'll just hold it and sign you off now and you'll leave like January 31st. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I waited 2 months and then I go, Mom, ¿qué pasa, amigo? So they're going to send me to Oklahoma. Who's sending you to Oklahoma? And I was like, the Army. She goes, the Army? And I was like, yeah, I signed up for the Army. She goes, ¿Por qué, pendejo? My mom was so mad and then she was crying. She goes, why'd you do that? I was like, I just want to do something,
Des, what year was this?
This was 2016 going into 2017.
And so you're fresh.
January 2017.
So let me tell you this, man. Before we go any further, I want to thank you for your service. And the reason I say that is because I always tell people, if you join the military after 9/11, 2001, right, you knew that our country was at war, and you know what you're signing up for. Right. In my time, I signed up in the early 90s, and the Gulf War just finished. Yeah. You know what I mean? But when 2001 came around, well, that changed everything. Right. For the next 11 years of my life. Yeah. Actually, 13 years of my life, we were back and forth. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I respect young Americans who decided to do that. Right, because it's different. It really is. It's not the same as a kid signing up during peacetime. Right. It's really not. You're going down there and you're like, hey man, there's probably about a 95% chance you're gonna end up somewhere with some sand that you're not gonna like. You know what I mean? And you guys go ahead and do that. So my hats off to you and kudos for that. again, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your
and I just wanted to go back to that because I had a feeling that it was after 9/11, and I'm the way you were speaking of your mom, I'm sure she was just like, you know, my family was like, no, we're not. And the thing is, man, like in my family, we didn't have nobody in the military.
Me neither.
Like,
I was the first one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we don't know. But I don't know about for you, but for me, it was like, you know, my mom and dad worked their whole life. Like nobody made us breakfast. Nobody made us lunch. You know, when you weren't in school, you weren't eating breakfast and lunch. You were getting dinner, like tortillas, whatever, picadillo, whatever.
Frijoles.
Yeah, with frijoles, arroz, pollo, whatever, right? But we knew we were going to get a badass dinner. Yeah. So we were on our own during the day. Like, you want to make some eggs? We'll scramble your eggs or whatever. A lot of ours was just, you know, pancake syrup and a piece of bread and fold it in half. Vámonos. But those were the summers, man. That's how we grew up. So where I'm going with this, like when you join the military, for me, I was like, shit, dog. They feed you breakfast, they feed you lunch, and they give you dinner, and you get to sleep on a bed. You know what I mean?
Hey, and you know what? I had looked it up. I did my research, and I was like, damn, they're gonna fuck me up for like nothing, just for looking at them wrong.
Yeah.
No, but bro, I went in there. To me, I was like, this is soft, man. This is easy. This is cake. I get 3 meals a day. I get to scream at people at the top of my lungs.
Dude,
like,
most people who come from our background, they excel in the military, and the reason they do is because of that. Because we see it as like, man, this is we're okay here. There's really no work. Yeah. All you got to do is listen to this dude scream at us. My mom and dad scream better more than this shit. Like, you got dudes shaking and like, hey, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, I don't know if I can take it. I'm like, dog. Hey, my Theo would have had your ass hemmed up.
I'm like, bro, my mom is way scarier than this guy with the Smokey the Bear hat. So, that was, I remember actually one day that I was like the first or second week of, I think, of basic training. And I remember going in, they go, okay, guys, the guy with the Smokey the Bear hat that has the blue ring around his hat, that guy is the emotional distress counselor. So go with him for your feelings. And you know what? The blue circle is infantry. So they said, all right. So go, if you guys have any stress, go talk to him for your problems, okay?
And they would lay right into you guys.
That was the meanest one.
Hell yeah.
No, but they woke us up one day and they go, and they were really nice, which was scary. Because they were, you know, they're like, that was scary because they were like, hey, privates, everybody, you know, get your uniforms on and get downstairs and toe the line. And we went down and we're like, what's going on? Because it's like 3 a.m. And they're like, so we're going to give you guys your phones back right now. And you're going to make the phone, we're going to give you 20 minutes to make whatever phone calls are necessary home to tell them that you're going to be going to war to South Korea. To South Korea. And I was like, we were like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, so this is now turned into an OSEC unit. And we're going to be, don't worry, we're going to be there by your side. So we won't let anything happen to you guys. But we understand if you guys are scared, anybody who doesn't want to go or participate can just step forward and we'll get the paperwork ready for you to send you home. And I go, this is a trap. Hell no, bro. Ain't no way. And I just see people coming forward and I was like, pendejo. And right away they're like, get on your faces. You ain't going to war. I was like, oh my God.
They were setting you guys up.
Setting up, bro. But like you said, the ones that live a life that, you know, like they have Chicano.
We already know,
we already know it's a trap. Dog. This is a setup. I know this game. No way.
That's cool, man. But you know, that's the reason I was telling you guys about the vibe. This is the vibe right here that I'm talking about. Des has a beautiful vibe to him, man. Des, so you get out the army, dude, and you know, you got a family.
Yeah.
You know, that's a little different than, you know, what a regular average 20, well, I wouldn't say that because we're Chicanos, man. I mean, we have kids.
Usually we have 6 by like 21.
And I got 8. So, you know, by the time I was 22, I had probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 probably. You know what I mean? But our kids are always taken care of. So that's a good thing. But you get out. Was that something you already knew? You were like, hey, I'm out. You weren't going to make it a career. Did you start right before start looking towards music stuff to where like, hey man, you know what? I'm gonna leave this behind me and I'm gonna continue my music stuff.
No, so I got med boarded out. I got hurt, and they didn't want to let me continue my service. So they told me I needed to get out. And I had my second child, my youngest now. And so I got out and I was like, well, my oldest was in California. So I was like, I got to go back to Cali. You know, I got to be with him. Now that I know that I don't have to be away from him now, I got to go back. So I went back. We all went back. Stood there for a while and just trying to make it by working out, whatever jobs here and there, and struggling because Cali is Cali.
And, yeah, dude. People
Cali's
like
hard, man.
we're very naive sometimes, especially Tejanos, right? Like if you never left Texas or you don't know, like man, we're spoiled down here. HEB spoils the shit out of you. Oh my gosh! Like yeah, all these things that we're so used to, it's just we're just used to having them, right? Yeah. Cali's not like that, bro.
I can't tell you how pissed off I was when I got back to Cali and realized that Bluebell ice cream is only a Texas thing. I was like, hey, where's the Bluebell cookies and cream? They're like, Bluebell. I was like, you don't know what ice cream is.
Dez, let me tell you. I'll tell you this story, man. We left California, and I'm a guy that I do the grocery shopping, right, at my house for the most part. And my kids need, like, when I go grocery shopping, like I'm maybe one, two or three things off, but I usually buy the same exact thing every single 10 days. Like I would go and buy the right,
just to re-up
the ground turkey, the bologna, like it just all the same stuff. I buy it all.
Yeah.
Well, I know what it costs. I go to the commissary, I would buy it, and then a commissary on base, so it's at least a little bit cheaper than Albertsons and all the other places over there. Albertsons, we don't want no legal problems here. But we come here, we come here to Texas, and I grew up at HEB, but I was excited to go to HEB, so I buy the same shit.
Yeah.
So when I get to the line, the lady's like, "Hey, it'll be," I don't remember what it was, and I was like, "What?" I paid real quick. I said, "Baby, let's go." She goes, "Hey, what's your problem?" Like why? Up. I said that lady messed up. I promise you, she messed up because it felt like we had
got a bargain,
dude. I thought she was like, I thought she would, gave me the wink, like she was just passing shit. Or I was like, come on, let's go. Sir. Like, there's no way this could be right. But she, I looked at the receipt, like, no, it was just way cheaper, man. So going over there with your family, I mean, that's hard, dude. You're young, you know what I mean? Fresh out the army, you got a young family.
And my wife now, she had never been to California. She's from North Carolina, and
neta?
Yeah, we met here in Texas, and while I was in Hood, and
not in the hood, guys.
Not Fort in Hood. The Hood. What is now Fort Cavazos? But the only true Texan here is my youngest, Brendan. He was born in Texas.
He was born in Texas.
He's the truest Texan in the family. So, but we went over there, went to Cali. And we went, we stayed with my mom for a little bit in Pico Rivera, made our way, moved to San Bernardino, which was an experience. And it was like living in Grand Theft Auto. And then we moved to Palm Springs, which was, that's like Hollywood all over again. So it's expensive over there. But that's where my oldest was. But I was making that drive from Pico Rivera to Palm Springs every day, go to school and do his occupational therapy.
That's a drive, fool.
Every day. Yeah, every other week.
That's a drive. That's a little... And then traffic, no manches.
And I was doing full-time college, working nights at a warehouse, and doing his occupational therapy. And man, it was a time. So we had to make the way to Palm Springs. And... by this time, it was like 3.5 years. I was like, yeah, music's not going to happen. So I had even told my lady, I was like, I'm done with singing. I'm done doing music. Like, it's just not going anywhere. And every time I even hear myself sing, it just reminds me that I didn't do anything with it. So I don't want to do it. And she was like, there's no way. Like, you can't give up singing. And TikTok had come around at that time. She kept telling me, hey, join TikTok. I was like, nah, I don't want to join TikTok. It's like a kid's app.
What nationality is your wife, if you don't mind me asking?
She's Filipino.
Filipino
y güerita. Uh-huh. She's both. She's mezclada.
And born and raised in North Carolina.
Born and raised in North Carolina.
Country as hell.
Yeah.
Wow. That's dude. What you should have done your TikTok was on her reacting to to the way we live. But if she but if she's Filipina, they're very relatable to Latinos. Like a lot of things that they do. There's just another language, right?
She doesn't speak Tagalog. Her stepmom Maria, my mother-in-law, she speaks Tagalog, and so me and her will be like talking. I'm like, yo, guapo means guapo in Tagalog. That's crazy. It means handsome. It means the same thing. So we like talk about all that stuff. And they have like the same kind of vibe. Barbecues, man. There's food. Their food as far as the eye can see.
Pancet, lumpia.
It's my favorite, bro.
That food is bomb. So you could have done one of those. Like there's the young guy from California that he married a girl from the Midwest. She's white. He's like a 49ers fan. He just came out on a movie, but that was his TikTok was on like, they were gonna go over to a carne asada, and they're like, hey, we're going to a family barbecue, and she's making a green bean casserole. You've never seen this guy? No. Bro, I can't think of this. So the dude's like, he comes up, he's like, hey babe, what are you doing? Well, your mom said it's like bring a dish. Okay, but what is this? It's green bean casserole. And she's like, wait a minute. No, my family doesn't eat green bean. Well, they better eat it because I made it. Like, it's hilarious, bro. So their whole TikTok is based on him going, like, when he goes to her family, culture, right, back and forth. So that would have been cool.
Yo, for real. No, but it was a ride, man. And like I said, I gave up on it, and then finally, one day she convinced me to do it. She convinced me to get on TikTok when we were in Palm Springs one day because she heard me singing Adios Amor. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, that's a cool song. And I had never heard Cristiano that either. I was like, that's a really nice song. She was like, you should make a TikTok video about it. I was like, And I looked at my son. I was like, you want to be in a video, mijo? And he was like, yeah. So I took it out. I just put a karaoke track of Adios Amor, sang like a little piece, posted it. And then I put my phone down and picked it up. It was like at over 1 million likes, 7 million views. I was like, what? All these Michael Bublé commented on it. I was like, nah, my idol, bro. And he put, me encanta como cantas, señor. And I was like, get the what? Bro, I screenshotted that shit right away. And then I scared him away because I fangirled. I was like, bro, I'm your biggest fan.
Hey, but that was your motivation to look at all the people that admired that.
It was really
TikTok.
It was her that she was like, see, I told you can't. You have a gift and you can't just lay it to rest. You have to do something with it. Yeah. Even if it's not gonna be on a major worldwide scale. Just look at all these people that enjoy hearing you. Maybe it could just be that. Like, just don't put it down. You love singing. It puts you in a good mood. It's an outlet for you. Because that was my only outlet, was singing. Yeah. Or acting. But I mean, I wasn't acting. I do little caricature or voices for my kids, pero hasta ahí, Yeah. Nothing major scale. So when that happened, shortly after, a mutual friend of Shelly and I, Alexi Rodriguez, hit me up through TikTok. And she was like, hey, I have somebody that might want to meet you. Would you be interested, like, for music? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And then Shelly hits me up, and she's like, hey, first question, do you know who I am? And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't. And she goes, that's cool. Don't even worry about it. So
probably made it even better that he did that.
Just like that. She was like, that's cool. You can look me up on Wikipedia after I'm on Wiki. She goes, and then, she goes, so I have a real question for you, though. Like, do you want to do, like, music for real, write original music, do the real thing, be a real recording artist, or do you want to just do, like, cover songs on TikTok? Like, that's fine, too, if you want to do that. That's fine. And I was like, yeah, I want to do the real thing. And she was like, all right, well, then she talks me through the process, and we hang up. And then I talked to my lady, and I was like, if I'm going to do this, like, I've done this once before, and it's a very time demanding job. And, I'm a father first. So I'm big on memories, and I was like, I'm going to miss a lot if this, like, takes off, and I might have to sacrifice in order to build an empire for you guys, to give you guys what I want to give you. She was like, do what you want. It's what makes you happy. So that was what, her being the backbone and being the supportive is what calmed my mental to be like, okay, I can pursue my dream.
Now, for the people watching, this is still in California.
This is still in California. Yeah, and so that's what calmed my mental to be like, I could still pursue my dream and not lose my family. I could still have my family there and still have those memories because someone's going to be holding down the fort for me and, you know, not letting me miss out on anything. And also keeping me a present figure, even though I'm not physically there at home for my kids.
Gotcha.
Knowing that your father loves you and that's why he's gone, because he's doing things for you.
And this started with a phone call.
For the phone call. We had a long talk. And
So the real question of the phone, there's for the fans watching, there's only really one question on the first phone call between you and, for us, our legendary Shelley Laris.
Yes.
Right? You remember the phone call?
Oh, yeah.
Like to the T?
Yes.
What
Absolutely.
were her first words to you?
First of all, do you know who I am?
No, that was a wrong answer, Des. Because if Shelly, it's always hola cola.
Hola cola.
But maybe because she didn't know you like that yet.
No, she did say hola
Oh,
cola.
you did? You
That's
did
how
say
she
that?
always
There
hits
you
me
go.
up. You're right.
So that's really the real question, right?
Yeah. Hola cola. That's right. Yeah, that's the signature.
It's like if somebody ever took Shelly captive and they were trying to act like her, if
Put Shelly on the phone.
Yeah, if they if they
Put her
would
on
say
the
if they
phone.
would say something like this in a text, like it's
We're not
Shell.
paying.
Somebody got your phone.
We're not paying.
Hilarious.
So you know, I don't really think. Well, I'm assuming now that you've been around the business for a little bit.
Yeah.
On this side,
Tip of the iceberg.
You kind of know after reading the wiki.
Yeah.
Right after reading the wiki, you know what she is for us.
Oh, absolutely.
And she is, for everybody watching, she is here in the audience, but I'm really trying to act like she's not here, right? But you know what she is for us. 40 plus years of just badass music. Now that our little Miss Dynamite is calling you in California, saying, "Hey, bro, is this what you really want to do?" Up to that point, had you ever heard any Tejano music other than Selena?
No, and I've said this before. I heard Selena, but I didn't even know that she was Tejano. I had no idea what this genre was. So, man, I wanted to tell you something, because after we hung up and I looked her up, I was like, "Ya la cagué." I told my lady, I was like, "I fucked up. You know how big this lady is?" She was like, "What?" And I started.
No, she's really not that big.
But I started showing my lady. I was like, "Look at this. I fucked up." I'm like, I didn't know.
Hell yeah.
And no, Shelly was super cool about it. She was like, "No, I like that you don't know, because you're a fresh mind to this, and you're gonna appreciate this a lot more." And I have, man. Like, I've one thing I've told Shelly when she started referring me to people like Sonny Osuna and Little Joe, which Sonny Osuna, man, I fell in love with him right away because he does oldies stuff, and I love oldies, man. That's part of my Cali lifestyle. And I hit her up when I was listening to him at work. I was like, "Yo, he does oldies." She was like, "Hell yeah, that fool was an American band set." I was like, "What?" Mind blown.
So you didn't know who Sonny Osuna was?
I didn't know nobody.
But you knew his song, but you didn't know that was him.
No, I didn't know nothing.
You didn't know "Put Me in Jail." You never heard "Put Me in Jail."
No.
He was a virgin to Sonny Osuna.
Oh,
dude.
Man.
Everything I've heard, like I'm like falling in love with it.
He learned Little Joe, Ruben, Sonny, Agustin.
Even Steve Jordan now. She
Jordan.
just recently, and I'm like, damn, bro. And I saw him in Born in East LA. I was like, what?
Yeah,
That was
Steve
him?
Jordan was there. Oh yeah. People.
What's happening?
You know, a lot of older people that are Steve. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people do what you do. They'll come across Born in East LA and they'll be like, "Dude, that was Steve Jordan."
I tripped out.
Right.
They told me about it, and I was like, "What, dude? That's like a classic." I love that movie too. Cheech and Chong and all those. I love all those movies. But yeah, like I've grown to love it, and all the fusions, like how Shelly explained to me, everything that people are doing musically now, like all the fusions and the mixtures and stuff like that. Tejano's been doing it for ages, dude, and they just haven't gotten the credit for it. And I'm like, I don't understand, dude, because my generation and even younger, we're all wowed by, and not discrediting them because it's great music, like Grupo Frontera and Bad Bunny, Peso Pluma and Junior H and Grupo Frontera. But they've been doing it. Shelly did it with Vince Gill. You know what I mean? Like they've been doing stuff like that.
Just never gotten the notoriety for
that
it.
it should have gotten, because they're not just singers. They're not just musicians. They're all around entertainers. They know music. They know production. They know stage crew. They know stage management.
They
know
it
how
all.
to set up. But they know it all.
Yeah.
And they're, dude, that me just being around Shelley and seeing her set up, just with her doing Fiesta Latina, running that.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, dude, this takes a lot of work.
Yeah, no. One thing that I took from, I've had the opportunity of interviewing, Shelley Laris, I think a couple of times. She was here in the studio, and one time, one thing that's always stuck with me, and I bring it up, and so I can go back in so many of my interviews, especially when I'm talking to maybe not just the vocalist, but more musician-wise, like just the musicians.
Yeah.
One thing that Shelley always said, and she was the one that told me, and it's always stuck in my head, is that, a Tejano musician, there is none like. There's no people like them, because a Tejano musician can play Tejano, and they pretty much can play any kind of music. But if you take somebody and you bring them from another genre and you try to get them into, they can't do it.
The sauce.
They're lost in the sauce. They can't do it. But a Tejano musician, they're well-rounded, like you said. They can play a bit of everything.
Yeah.
And that kind of always stuck in my head. I've always brought that up in many interviews when we talk about, artists and whatnot. But so Shelley Lares, Shelley Lares calls Dez. Dez doesn't know a damn thing about Tejano music, right? What was your mindset, Dez? Like, where did, when you got that call from Shelley Lares afterwards, like, hey, you're serious about this? Did you think that you'd be doing Tejano music, or you were just gonna do music in general?
I was just ready to do music in general, because I love it all, man. I just love being on stage. I love vibing with any kind of music. I love it all. Like I can have a good time doing reggaeton, reggae, rap, whatever. I'm not country now, like oldies, cumbias, whatever, you name it. I just want to be around it. It's my vibe. It's where I can express myself without feeling any judgment or criticism, or not even caring, really. It's where I could be myself and really show my love through an art. You know what I mean? And express.
But you just said a whole bunch of genres of music.
Yeah. But
at the end of the day, man, Chicanos in general, that's who we are.
Oh yeah.
Like all those kinds of music makes us who we are. Like, I promise you could pick up my phone and you could go from George Strait to Ramon Ayala to Michael Salgado to Shelley Lares. I don't do metal, right? and then you could go to the Temptations, right?
We're Mexican American.
Yeah,
we're Mexican music, but we're American.
Well, we're American, so we touch everything.
Yeah.
And if you stop to think about it, this, not a lot of cultures do that.
No.
I thought I heard him say the Temptations. I wonder if he knows you can sing the Temptations.
Oh, I love the Temptations.
Oh, Shelley. Hey, échale crema. That's what she's doing right there. You do the Temptation. What's your favorite Temptation song?
My favorite one?
The one I have the video of.
Sunshine, blue skies, please go away. My girl's found another and gone away with away my future. My life was filled with gloom. So day after day, I stay locked up in my room. I know to you, it might sound strange, but I wish it would rain.
Hey, this dude's for real right here, bro. That's what I'm talking about right there.
That's my favorite one he does.
I love this
again, speaking of all your genres, right? You're speaking to Shelley Lares. And for us, like I've told you, a Tejano legend for all of us here in Tejano land. You make your way here to Texas, I would assume, right? If you want to come work for Shell Shock Records. And how was that for you? Was that just like, hey, family, you're staying put, I got to go do this? Or did you say, hey, I'm jumping in this with both feet? Because here's a part that people don't get. Here's a part that I want you the fans to understand. It's like you giving up. I mean, you're jumping in with 2 feet. No matter what you have going on over there, that's done.
Yeah.
You're coming in here and you're going at it in full force. But at the same time, you still got to manage your marriage. Still got to manage fatherhood.
Yeah.
Still got to manage your bills.
Yeah.
Right? All these things. Where are you going to stay? Like all these things. And still focus and be here ready to rock and roll for Shelley Lares to do some music.
That's right.
So, how'd you do that? What'd you do?
So it wasn't right away. We didn't come right over here. We did Rogando por tu Amor. Shelly and I were trying to figure out, you know, when she hit me up at like 3 a.m. and was like, dude, I had a dream that you were singing this arreglo that I have for you. It's a mariachi bolero.
She called you at your 3 a.m. Cali time?
Yeah, my 3 a.m. Cali time.
Well, she wasn't. She was already going to get up to go run.
She was ready to go, man.
And that's why she called you, not realizing you're 2
behind.
hours behind.
She was like, she had been working all night and she made this Rogando por tu Amor as a mariachi bolero. She goes, I have something, like, I just dreamt you singing this. You know, tell me if you could write something to it. She sent it to me. I heard it. I was like, oh, dude, this is right up my alley. It's mariachi. And I wrote it in Spanish, which was one of the first times I really wrote a full song in Spanish. So I wrote it. I sent it back to her. She was like, no, que no, chiquito. She goes, she's like, how would you feel about doing a Tejano version? And I was like, I don't want to let you down. Like, I don't want to, like, step on anyone's toes or make the Tejano community upset at me because I'm, like, fresh to this genre and I don't really know much. She's like, nah, you're gonna kill. You'll do fine. And I didn't. She's like, hell yeah, dude, you're going to do great. Put it out, and it was a huge success. I recorded it off my MacBook, on my GarageBand, my little condenser mic, Audio Technica at home in Cali in my little room. And luckily that worked for that song, you know. We were trying to figure out how to get me to San Antonio, but I was having a rough time with money and you know, trying to get me there. So we decided to do it that way. And Shelly produced it, and it took off. And, dude, from there, we had Fiesta Latina, and I came to San Antonio, and then, you know, I was like, man, Shelly's been doing all this stuff for me. Like, you know, she's been so leap of faith with me.
Yeah.
Because of somebody of her stature and the respect that she has in this community. For somebody to look at you like that and put forth their hard-earned money and their time and their effort on you, and you're out of state, bro, that's a lot. That's a huge leap of faith. So I was like, the only way I could pay that back is by me doing the same thing, by going head first into this. She's being serious about it.
She's putting her stamp on you.
She's putting my stamp on me. I should be just as serious, if not more.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like she's told me millions of times, dude, you're going to carry on the new generation of artists and, you know, the Tejanos and everything else. So that I was like, there's no way I could do this if I'm just going to be, you know, playing around over here in Cali and letting things like money get in the way. Yeah. Money comes and goes, but opportunities like these don't come once in a lifetime. Yeah. And this is the second time. So to me, this is a divine intervention that she and I have crossed paths. So finally I decided, and it was a really hard sacrifice. She knows, because I had to leave my oldest son over there. So I have to figure out also how to visit him and, you know, keep in touch with him and go back and forth and obviously support him as well. But I threw myself head first, and I was like, this is for them. This is for an empire for them, so that they don't have to struggle like I did. Yeah. So hopefully, even if they don't want to do music, they have connections in some way that can help them out in life, whether they want to do stage management or anything that somebody will help them. I've made those bridges. And I made those connections in order to build something for my family. And so I was like, you know, I'm going to go. And my wife was like, whatever you want to do, man. If you feel like you're going to give 110%, then we'll back you up. And my family backed me up. You know, my in-laws were like, you have a place to stay here, while you get on your feet, and they've helped me get a job. And so your in-laws lived in Texas? They live in Copper's Cove, yeah. So hey, man, you know, I mean, at least that was there. You know, what I mean, that's probably the biggest, the hardest part is like, where am I going to lay my head at night, or where am I going to base myself out of while I do this? So
That's cool, man. Carbon Cove is a beautiful area too, man.
Yeah.
Everybody owns a boat or a jet ski.
¿Verdad?
Like you go to the neighborhoods, like that's the only
yeah.
neighborhood I've been to where like it's like a boat, jet ski, boat, jet
Yeah,
ski,
it's
boat, jet
beautiful,
ski.
man. I love that. And it's crazy, man, because it came sooner than we planned. We had planned to do it
November.
in November of this year.
And we didn't plan on signing this soon.
Didn't plan on signing this soon. We were just planning on making music and doing stuff and just continuing with the vibe that we had going because
Our writing chemistry is incredible.
it's incredible. She'd be like, dude, I have this track. And it'd be country. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd send it back to her and she'd be like, that's fucking awesome. Put it in the archive. And then she'd be like, I have this track. And it'd be a cumbia or something or whatever it may be. We wrote it. Boom. That's another one. Like, it was just
So Des, here, you know, you're writing, you're working with Shelly Lares. For me, the question is just that just bothering the shit out of me is like, how does a kid that listens to oldies and mariachi with Cali vibes jump in 2 feet into a Tejano industry? Like, I know music is music, but still its own style. Like it's what is it similar to mariachi? They're both in Spanish. That's about it.
That's about it.
That's
yeah.
it. That's the only thing that has similar. But here you go again, taking the leap of faith, leaving Cali, coming to Texas, working with Shelly Lares and Shell Shock, and now you're gonna sing Tejano music, bro. That you, in all honesty, have not a damn clue about.
I'm learning.
But Shelly, in the background, she's not here, guys, but she's here in the background. She mentioned some names, and you were mentioning names, and that made me feel like, okay, this kid's got a good head on his shoulders because you're studying.
Oh, absolutely.
You're studying our pillars,
The veterans,
the veterans, right? And how it's evolved. Because if you do that, then when you land on your 2 feet in Tejano music, you're like, nobody can come and tell you, hey, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, bro, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Right? Yeah, I might not be singing 10 or 15 years, and I wasn't raised in this industry, but, you know, you can answer questions about people that have come before you in the industry. So you're a scholar
thank you.
of Tejano music. And for me, that says a lot. Like, people who do this need to know the history. You need to know where you come from. You need to know that every time you step on the stage, what you're carrying on your back, whether you're a C artist, B artist, A artist, or a Z artist, right? If you're considering yourself a Tejano artist,
better bring your A game.
Bring your A game, of course, but just know that, you know, a lot of people have come before you.
Absolutely.
And it's your job to continue for it to grow. Your vibe, I'm going to be honest with you. All your stuff that I've been seeing, that Shell posts, that you guys post, that's a badass vibe. We need something like you right now in this industry. And I'm speaking. People might say, "Bumper, you're talking out your ass." You could say what you want. It's my show. I could say what I want, right? But what I'm telling you is, you know, we need a Dez right now, right now, and how our industry's going. We need somebody like you. We need somebody with that vibe, that style, because people you'll get people's eye.
Thank you.
Right?
Man.
You'll get people's eye. So, you know, coming from me to you, I would just tell you, like, don't change who you are. Don't change your vibe. Like, hey man, you know, there's people that come to this, and I'm not gonna mention names, but there's people who come into the genre and they automatically think, hey, I gotta wear a cowboy hat, and I gotta put some boots on, I gotta put a straw in my mouth.
She got me one, yeah. She got me a couple
and that's cool.
Pero,
like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, me as a fan of the music, I dig that shit. I dig that you can wear a pair of Chucks and you know what I mean, and go on stage and jam a badass Tejano. So I'm like, oh hell yeah, because we come in all shapes and sizes and all kinds of styles, right? We all come from different backgrounds. So I would tell you that, hey man, Shelly's probably gonna say, don't listen to that son of a gun, but do your thing. Like the whole mariachi outfit, that's you. That's where you come from.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
do a video on that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But if I see you doing a video like this, I'm even more like, hell yeah, like that's badass.
Who's
Like
rocking bands?
He was like that in his video Rogando por tu amor.
I had chucks
Just
and
like that.
and my flannel. I was rocking the Cali look, man.
there you go, man. I mean, if you're wearing a Pendleton, I'm cool with it, dog.
I'll get there with the money, bro.
Hey,
That's
no
they're
shit,
expensive,
right?
bro.
People don't know Pendleton, $230.
Yeah, bro.
starting off.
Just for one.
But that's what I think. I think your style, your vibe, and Shelley and your background right now, like, you know, kind of pointing you in the right direction. It's what we need. It's what we need. I will tell you, the song selection would help. Like, you know what I mean? If you come up with some strong songs, and again, you got Shell in your corner, so you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that part.
I'm just
I
saying.
got
knows.
Shell directing me, man. I know.
Well, maybe throw Shell on here. I'll put her ass on the spot already.
Nobody knows what we're brewing.
We got some
I'm
stuff
just saying
cooking for
that.
sure.
So
It's gonna be a totally different part of me too, and him.
I don't know how you deal with her all the time. It's funny.
We vibe,
It's funny
man.
that she's used to about a month ago. I was interviewed in the Valley on another podcast. Right, a good friend of mine, Rock and Roll James, and he's like, "Bump." The podcast was about my Tejano podcast, like,
Yeah.
you know, the artists, you know, how do I get a hold of them, you know, stuff like that. So he asked me, he's like, "Hey man, so what was probably one of your hardest interviews, or like, have you ever gotten nervous, whatever?" I said, "Man, you know what? I really don't get nervous. I don't. Like, you could put me in front of 10,000 people. What I tell you before we went live, I told you, if they're not shaving their head and sending us to Iraq and Afghanistan to get shot at, we're good. Like, I mean, what are you going to stress about, right?"
Yeah.
But the very first interview that I did with Shelley Laris, she walked into the same studio you're in. We had a different setup, and she sat down, and I was like, "Hey, Shell, like, what can we talk about? What can we talk about?" And she's like, "We can talk about whatever the fuck you want. Like, nothing is off limits." So I had never been. I'm not the alpha, but you know what I mean. I kind of just, like I told you, I go off of people's vibes.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that when she said that, it fucking threw me off, because if you guys never been around Little Miss Dynamite, she's a fucking alpha. Like, and she's gonna let you know, like, "Hey, I'm here. Don't F with me. Like, let's do what we got to do, right?" And so he asked me, you know, that was a question. That was probably the only time that I was like, but the second time, Rock, I was ready for her ass. Like, I already knew her vibe,
Had
right?
your
You know what I mean?
flashcards?
Yeah. No, I was good. But I went back and watched that interview, and it was like, man, yeah, like the first 20 minutes, you could tell me, you could see.
trabado.
No, yeah, you could see me. I was like, dude. Because, you know, when you do an interview, you try to keep people left and right. You try to keep them in your lane.
Right.
Well, you can't do that with Shelley Lares. Like, you just got to go with her. Stay, you know what I mean? Just gotta stay with her.
Truck, man.
Yeah.
He's learning that about me. He's still learning that about me.
It's funny though, man. Me and her, we laugh all day.
Nah.
We're laughing, but dude, I've seen it's funny. Shelly may be small, but her, dude, she yell at
dude.
your ass.
Come
down here, you tree.
She's very well respected in the industry.
Absolutely,
and
yes.
that's what's. I'm really happy that she's in your corner right now, dude, because that's really going to help you one, evolve into what, you know, the Tejano music industry, because we're not in bad shape. I think a lot of people like to say we're in bad shape, but you know, a few weeks back, I was in Vegas. The crowd was huge, and you know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're older people." There really wasn't. Like, there was older people, but there was a lot of, you know, 30-year-old people, in their young 30s, having a great old time. So I know it's there. Like I know it's there. And you come from California, so you know, like corridos tumbados. I always give those people props. I'm not a fan of the corrido tumbado. I'm just not. It's not my cup of tea.
I don't think you've heard the right one yet.
Well, no, I've heard. I've listened to a lot of them. Like, it's just the music is not my cup of tea.
Okay.
The lyrics are freaking amazing, right? But you have to respect the JOPs. You have to respect the Fuerza Regia, the Nathaniel Cano, all these dudes. You have to respect them, because what they did was took their dad's
And took it
style
to
of
another
music,
level for the younger generation.
made it their style, and changed the lyrics to what they're living today.
Yeah.
And they ran with it, whether you liked it or not. Here it is in your face. Here it is in your face. Here it is in your face. Next thing you know, hey, I like this shit.
all over the place.
And it's all over the place. So you have to respect the game. You got to respect them for doing that. The thing you're bringing over there from us is your vibe.
Yeah.
You know, you lived all that. You know all that. You can infuse that into Tejano music.
Oh yeah.
Because lately Tejano music is like our fans. I always do this, right? Tejano fans were in the square, and a lot of the fans stay on the outside of that square. Just think about that. All the fans stay on the outside of that square and they look in. The minute you start trying to make shit that's on the outside of that square, they'll be like, "Hey, man, that's not Tejano music." Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right. Llega el chacalón, ¿cómo se llama el vato? El chacal, yeah, vámonos, you're gone. But there is people in this business that have always been pushing the envelope. They've always been going outside the square, and they're successful, right? You can do that because you have the right person in your corner who's her whole time she's been pushing the square, right?
Yeah.
And I think once we start doing it enough, it becomes normal. Those fans are like, you know what? I like that. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't sound like David Lee Garza or Jay Perez, but I like that. I like that style. Hey, it's Tejano. Everything evolves. You know what I mean? Country music has evolved. R&B has evolved. Rap's evolved. And the fans have gone with it. It's like Tejano music, we start saying it's evolving and people go nuts. No. It's a lot of our culture is because we're stubborn too. You know what I mean? We're stuck in our ways. So I'm looking forward to that from you, and then being part of Shell Shock. I have no doubt in my mind that you're gonna be doing, you know what I mean? You're gonna be doing big things, bro.
Thank you, man. I mean, I'm honored to even be part of like the growth of Tejano. And I mean, I tell Shelly all the time, like, I'm like wowed with how all the pioneers like herself and like Sunny and all them, all the things they did for us to get where we are in the industry, the new artists.
Yeah.
Like we have this as an advantage. I say it a lot, that this like
social media
is an advantage, man. And like Shelly's explained to me back in the day, they'd hear us and they didn't even know what the hell we looked like until they got to our concerts. You know what I mean? And
what do you mean this little girl singing this song?
And she's like, we had to sell our merch at the same time and do this and that and show face and wine and dine the radio stations, and like you're getting a whole new side of this, man. Like everyone's, they're catering to the new artists instead, and that's awesome. But we as the new artists also have to pay homage to the veterans and pioneers for the things they did, and also respect that, and also, like you said, push the square at the same time in a respectful way.
Yeah.
To not say, hey, you guys have to listen to this, but just to kind of show that we can take it to a whole new level, and we're trying to help it. I'm still new to this. I'm still learning everything I need to learn in Tejano, and I have the best of the best teaching me the ropes.
You got the Queen of collab with you, homie.
So nobody in the Tejano committee has to be afraid that I'm gonna come in a disrespectful manner. No way. Just like you said, I'm coming with the Cali vibe, but we got the truest Tejana to show me how to keep it respectful and keep it doing it the right way and evolve the right way.
Bro, at the end of the day, the Cali, the Tejano thing, it's music.
It's gonna be perfect, man. It's gonna be a perfect mesh, and like she said, nobody knows what we got cooking, and it's gonna be fire, man. I love it. The few people that have been around to see the works have been the same way that we're loving it. So I'm 100% sure that everyone's gonna love it.
So does this part of the shows where we get a little serious and make you a little uncomfortable, just a little bit? But these are real questions that I would really like your opinion on. And at the end of the day, they're your opinion. Coming from California, coming here, working with Shell Shock, working with Shell, right? You put out that Tejano single. From the outside, Dez is outside looking into the Tejano industry. What's your take so far?
So far, man, everybody's super welcoming. The one thing I have learned is that, and no disrespect to nobody, but the one thing I have learned is that they're afraid of the new artists. They're afraid to let us in, and to kind of let us evolve. They don't want the old style to move forward in a new way and their ways be forgotten. But in no way, at least in my perspective, do I want to let that happen. I want to bring the new style we got and the old style so that everyone can continue to appreciate it, like the younger generation.
Yeah.
And as at the same time of bringing a new sound to it, also teach the younger generation the history of where it came from and how it came to be such a great genre. Because in my opinion, man, I'm an old soul. I love the old sound, dude. Like I told her I was never a fan of country, right? She showed me 90s country. I was like, I'm a 90s country fan. You know what I mean?
I stopped listening to country music probably in 1998. Is when for me, in my eyes, and again, here I am being the person that I said I don't want our fans to be, but in 1998 I was like, no more. I don't like the way country's going.
And
right?
They're still good. They're still good artists in country. I'm not.
It's just different.
It's just different.
It's just different.
And
yeah.
I vibe more with the old school stuff.
The old school country.
You know what I mean? I like and old school music in general. I like the vibe of it more. It's more focused on the music and the lyrics at the same time, as opposed to, I mean, nowadays I feel like a lot of them
Party type thing.
now it's just party or club. That's all everybody's focused on. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you, your answer is spot on.
Thank you, man. I hope I didn't disrespect.
No. You
It's
didn't
all
disrespect anybody. That is kind of exactly what I was hoping that you would say, because that's in all honesty, that's how I see it. Cool. That's how I see it. You know, and I'm immersed in this. Like I told you guys before, like 6 days a week, I eat, sleep, and shit Tejano music all the time. You know, and that's where sometimes I sit here and I like, this is not only do I do the shows from here, but this is, you know, with family and I work and stuff. This is where I come sometimes just to like, just right here,
decompress.
in the spot, decompress. Yeah. But the industry needs something. We need something. We need to spike it up, okay? And I think the fans need to just be open to it. They need to be open to it. I mean, you said Frontera and Bad Bunny, like, who 2 years ago, think about that, 2 years ago, who in the hell would think that
nobody,
that those kind of music would be number one on the island of Puerto Rico, would be number one in the city of New York, where salsa's king? Think like stop to think about that.
That's how Genesis was singing.
But
it the
dude,
other day,
I'm just saying, like look at all these people that are they're evolving. We need to do the same thing. If we want to prosper, we need to do the same thing. And so I really think that with Shelley behind you, you're gonna do that. You're gonna make some noise. Hey man, and at the end of the day, don't be scared to step on people's toes. Sometimes people need to get their toes stepped on so they can realize, like, hey,
just don't step on Shelly's Jordans.
Yeah, there you go. But you brought Shelley up. You brought Shelley up one more time, and here's the great thing: you're in a prime example of what we've always said about her, right? Shelley's always been the artist that has reached down below and said, "Hey, get your ass up here," because she knows at the table there's enough for everybody to eat. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be sitting like this, man. You're right. Hey, you did your 30 years, 25 years, whatever. Your chair might be a little more comfy than yours, but there's no reason you can't be at the same table. You just got a little comfier, more chair. You know what I'm saying? Now you're on a stool with no back, but you're at the table. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody helped you up. At some point in time, somebody helped that artist the same way. And I really think that our genre sometimes that's the negative part about it. It's like a lot of our artists don't do that. I mean, you can correct me if I'm lying. Again, I'm acting like she's not here, but I know she's here. But one of her last speeches she gave, like in front of a shitload of people at the Tejano Music Awards, was that. Like, she went up there and said, "Hey, if you're saying it, if you're saying it, you're talking about it, you better be about it. Like we need to be helping these artists if we want to continue for our genre to expand and to grow. And you know, she's still doing that. I mean, even not performing anymore, she's still out there helping the Anikas and all these other young artists she has under her belt. That's what it should be about, dude.
And nonstop. She is nonstop, yo. Like
I would tell you, Des, if you
haven't seen that side of me yet. Bumper hasn't.
oh man. She's nonstop, dude. Like she helps all of us out sin pedir para atrás, you know what I mean? She just expects that we're gonna give as much as she's given, and at least from my perspective, as much as I'm out here, dude, I give my 110%, and yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Hey,
You
Des,
know what I mean?
but it's just like you
I have
said,
lots to
bro.
learn, man.
You just said it earlier a few minutes ago where you said that, you know, here she is bending over backwards for me.
Yes.
You didn't know her statue in this industry.
Yes.
And the least she could do would be like, hey, you know what? Let me make this leap. If she's
The
willing to
least,
do
man.
this, let me get over here and do this.
And
In
then
our world of Tejano where they just expect it.
And hell no, I don't expect nothing, man. Nothing's handed for free. And I mean, she didn't tell me like you're gonna have to do this and do it. She didn't tell me none of that. I just, you know, from my morality and the way I was growing up, my mom always told me, si alguien te da una oportunidad así, mijo, le tienes que echar ganas.
Yeah,
'Cause that
for
shit
sure.
don't come to just anybody. People fight their whole lives to get an opportunity like this. And to work with somebody like that and for them to help you out the way they're helping you out, the least you could do is give it your all, dude. And,
You're going to see, like, I would tell you if you ever, once you get around a little more and you get to sit down with like a, you know, if you ever have the opportunity to have a conversation with David Ligarza, you know, somebody like that, like pick their brain, dude, because those dudes have been doing it for, I mean, you guys Shelly was doing it for 40 years, right?
oh yeah.
But
And
again, you're a scholar, right? You're a scholar of whenever if you get around these other guys, hey man, don't be, I see people do it all the time. Like, hey, and they talk to them. They're not going to be like, este vato, get out of here. Is there some artists like that out there? Yeah.
There's a lot of
See, Alicia, yeah, right away. But if they don't, man, take it in, like absorb it, man, because you know those dudes have been doing it for a very long time. Where do you see yourself 1 year from right now?
man, with the way things are going, we're freaking reaching the stars and hopefully beyond, man. Like, we have so much planned, and I mean, nothing ever goes as planned, but every time I've planned something, it always comes out better lately since I've met Shelley. So
He said lately it comes out better.
it comes out even better than I hoped of, man. Like, she's been helping me fulfill dreams that I've been wishing I could have since I was a kid, dude, since I was in middle school. So I'm like, right now I'm in awe of everything that's going on. Like, just everywhere I go, I'm like a soccer mom, recording everything, taking pictures, and I'm just like, damn, bro, this is crazy. I never thought I'd be living this, you know what I mean? And
So you're based out of Corpus Cove right now,
Copper's
right?
Cove, yeah.
Copper's Cove right now. I got you.
But like you were saying, like picking brain, like even today, you know, every time she has some people over that have been in the industry for a while and they're telling stories, I'm just like with my mouth shut, just listening to everything. I'm like, wow, dude, this is crazy. These are stories that you hear in interviews, and sometimes you don't even hear these behind the scenes stories. And it's crazy to hear the things they had to do or go through, and the tough times and the good times, and the tough times they had to experience to get to those good times.
Right.
It's crazy because most people just see the glory of it. You know what I mean? They
They don't see the hard work.
They don't see the hard work. They don't see the tears. They don't see the, you know, the moments where they're down, and how those moments build them to be the strong people they are and the badasses they are. And that is what is inspiring me more to be like, damn, dude, if I'm stuck right now, I'm with the right person. And as long as I keep doing what I'm doing and doing what she asks of me and keep going down that road, then damn, bro, I can be like her. You know what I mean? I can make this a lifelong career like I always wanted to do. And more than that, in my mind, when I was a kid, I just aspired to be a singer. Being under her wing, she knows it all. I can learn all that, and she's more than willing to teach me all that. Is where I'm like blessed, dude. I thank God for that every day, and I thank her every day, and everyone that's involved with this entire project, because I'm blessed, dude. I never thought that I would be walking down this path ever, and I'm getting more than I ever thought.
And
I would
here you are.
of. Yeah, and here I am.
Hey,
dude.
Des, have
It's
you been in a
trip.
spot where like she's introduced you to somebody and you're kind of like, you know, I'm putting myself in your shoes, right? This is the fan in me. Putting myself in your shoes. You're hanging out with Shell's like, hey, this is so and so, and you're like, okay, cool. You meet them, whatever, blah blah blah, and then you kind of like go on your phone or go back in the corner and Google who they are, and you're like, a la chingada, like this dude.
Hey, at the signing party, I mean, everybody, dude, everyone I met, everyone I'm meeting, you, man, including, because she's told me how long you've been doing stuff like this, and it's crazy to even be sitting where other people have sat like her, and and people have sat you, and like we were talking about, I'm a huge Blood In Blood Out fan, and I mean, like, she's like, oh, Crucito's a big friend of mine, like Jesse Borrego, and I'm a huge bro.
Is she taking you with you tomorrow?
Tomorrow, and I was like, oh, I told her, she told me, she goes, yeah, you can, he's coming tomorrow, because she wanted me to meet him today, right? I've been trying to meet him ever since I met Shelley, since she told me that she knew him, and I was like, oh, you have no idea how much of a fan. Like, I watched that movie since I was 11. I probably shouldn't have been watching it at that time. Like, I snuck that from my brother, but I love, dude, that movie.
All right, Des. So tomorrow, before we leave, we're gonna exchange numbers. Tomorrow, I want to you gotta at least do one clip of the movie with him where you kind of go back and forth if you know the words
he's
to
down
it.
for it.
I've been out chased by no, just playing. Right, but there you go. Des is a veteran. I'm a veteran, and with that being said, tonight's show is sponsored by a veteran himself, Just for Veterans. Retired Sergeant Major Oscar Ornelas, United States Marine Corps, retired. He works for an organization called Just for Veterans, and what he does is he helps people with their VA claims. If you've been denied, if you're a veteran out there and you've been denied your disability, maybe you're just not doing it the right way. Reach out to my guy right here, and this real simple. All you guys got to do is take your phone right now. Bring it up to your screen or screenshot it, right? And take a picture of this code here, and it'll give you all his information. Or you can call him at 951. You might know that area code. 951-388-4072, right? Oscar Nellis, but when you call him, make sure that you tell him that you heard his number on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. He will guide you to the process. If you just got out, you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, you don't know up from down, hit him up. He's a great, great guy. Again, let him know Bumper sent you. Oscar Ornelas, a veteran coach, Just for Veterans. So, also this week, man, not last Friday, I think 2 Fridays ago already, brand new single out by a good friend of mine, Monico Cortez, along with those musicales, Javier Galvan, Cesar Martinez, Chente Barrera, and Marco Jaime all worked on this brand new single. If you guys haven't checked it out, Mi Hijo, Mi Ángel, it's a dedication to MC3, Monico's son, who tragically passed away a few months back. So it's a great song. Make sure you guys go out there and check it out. And again, couldn't do this show without the most. Well, Des has a cool vibe, but I don't think you know this guy.
That's why I did
it. That's what I'm talking about. So Des has been around already. Everybody knows my boy Ricky Ray, the realtor. 956-424-5724. That's puro flow all the time. 956-424-5724. Let him know that Bumper sent you, and he will take care of you. And then, Des, once you get like really, really big and you're so busy that you can't even do your own social media site,
Órale.
my friend, Mr. Joe Almaguer, right? 956-693-9035. He works for the best in the business. That's all I can say. He works for some of the best artists in the business, right? And he pretty much works their social media sites to where their algorithms are always popping.
Damn.
Right? So that means that, their stuff's always going. So if you own a business, maybe you own a business and you don't have time to do all the posts and stuff. This is what he does. So hit him up at 956-693-9035, and he could take care of all your social media stuff. So make sure you guys check it out. August 5th, the Tejano Super Jam, one of the biggest Tejano events to come in the Houston area, man, for quite some time. Tejano Super Jam, sponsored by Reese Law Firm and Quarter Moon Productions, where the stars meet the moon. Michael Salgado, David Ligares a los Musicales, Jay Perez, Ramirera, Stephanie Montiel. Man, I can't even see I'm having a brain fart right there. Lucky Joe, right? Lucky Joe. And Madison Polido, a brand new female artist, up-and-coming artist, will all be there, and it'll be hosted by yours truly, Bumper Gomez. I'll be hosting out there, and we just added to the lineup Little Bryce from the Inky Boys. He'll be out there doing a meet and greet. You might know him from the movie Hot Cheeto. ¿Cómo se llama el movie?
Oh, Flaming Hot.
Flaming Hot. I was messing up.
Hot.
Yeah, Hot Cheetos.
It's with Ivan Longoria, right?
Yeah, he'll be out there. And then, of course, there is, let's see. I know I'm missing somebody, man. Oh, I can't miss this one. After you buy your house, you need to secure it. You need to find a way to get your solar energy. Hit up my girl, Di Marie, at 210-837-8623. She works for Vivint Smart Home. So if you want all those cameras on the side of your house, in the front of your house, I mean, guys, if you think Sancho's coming over when you're not home, you need cameras, hit up Di Marie. She will take care of you. 210-837-8623. She could also help you with all your solar panel needs. So make sure you guys check that out. And last but not least, the last weekend, I believe it's the last weekend, the Jungle Boogie Latin Nights at the San Antonio Zoo. All you got to do is scan the little code. It'll give you a ticket for $15 to go to the zoo. It's an evening show. The sun kind of goes down. It's not as hot, but they've been bringing great Tejano music for over a month. So if you guys want to check it out this weekend, give you something to do. Jungle Boogie Latin Nights, sponsored by the San Antonio Zoo. And last but not least, Des is probably saying, God damn, how many sponsors this guy have? This beautiful furniture we're sitting on, could not do without my friends from Court Furniture Rental. Court.com. You can hit up my good friend Mario Jimenez at mario.jimenez at court.com. And Raza, it's Court, C-O-R-T, not the court that we go to, C-O-U-R-T. It's C-O-R-T. Court.com, 210-399-0113. They have everything, from everything you put on your wall, tables, carpets. They have everything that you can put in a house. It's inside that warehouse. Make sure you hit them up. They will take care of you. All right, Des, now it's back to me and you.
Orale.
So, guys, if you're just joining us late, man, we're live tonight with my special guest, El Gallo Dez, all the way from Pico Rivera, California, by way of Coppers Cove, Texas.
Sí, señor.
Part of the Shell Shock Records crew, Shelley Laris.
He's my official artist.
Okay, official artist. Don't mind the right fielders here that come out of the woodworks. Yes, there you go, left field. My left field. You're right. Des, again, you said a year from now, you're looking to be doing bigger and better things, new stuff coming our way.
That's right.
I'm excited, dude.
Thank you, man.
Honestly, this is my first time meeting you. And many people think that sometimes great interviews happen when you know people, like you feel comfortable with them. Sometimes I beg to differ.
Really?
Yeah, because if you think about it, like if I know somebody, I'm not gonna ask them shit that I already know. Yeah. Right? But maybe the fans want to know, but I'm not gonna ask it because I already know. Like, you know what I mean? When you don't know somebody, to me, it just makes sometimes a better interviews because we're getting to know each other. Right. And the fans are just third party here kind of hanging out, man. Des, what is one of your favorite things to do, dude, other than music, bro?
Hiking, bro. Cliff jumping, and waterfalls.
Oh my
That's
God.
my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, tell me about it.
El vato dijo hiking.
Dude, I love it, man. I used to put my little guy on in my back and go like 20 miles. But became too dangerous with the kids, so I would go hiking and finding waterfalls 70 foot, 80
Hey,
feet.
bro, but hiking here in South Texas ain't hiking in Pico Rivera,
I
doggy.
still do it, bro.
Because that dry air, that humidity over here. Will,
Yo lo hago. That's why I go at 3 in the morning, bro.
There you go. So hiking, huh? That's
Cliff
cool.
jumping.
That's different, man. You know what I mean?
I love it, man.
What's now that you're here, you're doing music full time over here with Shell Shock. What's a typical day like for Dez, man?
Man, well, when I'm with Shelly, it's music, it's pictures, it's working on the next best thing. When I'm at home, it's keeping the little chavalito calm, playing with him, because I got a little 4-year-old at home, Brendan, and I play with him. I'm basically a dad all day, man. Dad all day, and a husband, and cooking.
Man, your son's gonna have a awesome upbringing, dude. I mean, having all those cultures in his household,
And he's my little Miklo, dude.
and the food, like, I mean, dude, you
Yeah.
could have pancet with some enchiladas, dog. Like, you know?
Wait since he's been in Texas.
I gained 40 pounds, man. And me miro flaco, huh?
For real, bro.
For real,
Dude, when I left when I retired from the Marine Corps, in 12 months from my retirement date, I gained like 52 pounds.
For real.
I'm still going at it. I'm still going at it.
Adding, bro. Let's see echando.
But here it's the flour tortilla, dude.
Dude.
Which we can go into a whole nother war here, right? Because once you leave San Antonio, you start going west. There is no more what we call breakfast tacos, right?
Still haven't had the
These
breakfast
dudes
tacos
are
yet.
these
In
dudes.
West Texas next week, you'll find out.
Yeah, puro burritos. They're all, everything is a burrito. Like, in Cali, the carne asada burrito is king.
Yeah,
You know what
they
I
got
mean?
like the 1-pounders.
Yeah,
that
the
hang
big
over the
big
tray
ass things.
and-
So what's your take on the breakfast tacos? You
I
like
haven't
them?
had
You
them
dig them?
yet. I haven't had them yet, bro.
You gained 40 pounds and you haven't had not one
For
breakfast
me,
taco.
is the pancit, man. The Filipino parties are feeding me right now. Pero
The
every time-
lumpias.
and the tacos, bro. I love. Shelly knows everywhere we go, there's Mexican
You
food.
like the asada.
Asado tacos. I like asado tacos with the cilantro y cebolla and habanero sauce.
With tortilla de maíz.
Tortilla maíz, yeah.
So you haven't had a barbacoa taco.
Oh, hell yeah. Not here yet, but I've had a barbacoa taco.
Okay.
Even with the
He
little
doesn't know
consomme.
that's San Antonio tradition.
I still haven't had
Dog.
it yet. I still need to get treated
know
to a
what?
michelada out here because I make micheladas
It's
myself.
barbacoa and Big Red.
Barbacoa and Big Red every
What?
San
Sunday.
Antonio tradition.
Do you like Big Red soda?
Dude, I'm traumatized by Big Red since I was a kid.
Why?
I got sick by that shit. So I'm traumatized by Big Red, bro.
Yo.
I drank when I was fat.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
dude.
chetos, dog.
Sundays is for me
I'm gonna have to give it a go just for tradition's sake.
barbacoa, but you gotta try it on a flour tortilla.
I'm down. I'm a foodie, bro. I'm a foodie. I
Shelly's
love
not gonna
making
agree with this
food.
part,
What?
but you gotta do barbacoa, flour tortilla, green salsita. Hey, you ready? With some pickles on it.
Oh, hell no.
You lost me at pickles, dog. Damn.
No, dude. Don't
Oh, do it normal.
God.
Do it normal without it. And then, hey, yeah.
I thought you were gonna be like with peanut butter and jelly slathered.
No. Dude, pickles is it? Look, I tell people all the time. I post about music all the time, and I'll get a couple of thousand things, right? I put a picture of the way I like to eat barbacoa, which is on a flour tortilla, green salsita with some dill pickles on it. Right,
people are like, how do you dislike
that,
this shit?
Either hamburger chips or dill relish, right?
Yeah.
Whatever's available. I posted that picture, dude. Bro.
Went viral, huh?
It went viral.
I knew it, but not in a good way. Huh?
Yeah, dude, the comments, bro. The comment, because there's some people like, bro, really? I bet you're the kind of guy that puts ketchup on your tamales and all kinds of shit, right? You know what I mean?
Mia does that.
And so it just went off a whole nother tangent. So are you a pozole or menudo guy?
Pozole all the way, man. Oli menudo, you know what I mean? But pozole. That was my not anymore. Not with the recording days now. Ahora me cuido con beber, pero in the cruda days, pozole, dude. Pozole and tacos. That was the shit.
That's it, man.
I love pozole.
I
anyway.
I
haven't had pozole out here.
No, you haven't.
It's fire. I bet it's fire. No, I haven't had
pozole's good. Pozole's
it's
good
fire out
here.
here.
Well, the difference is like menudo in California. When you order menudo, it's just panza.
It's
It's
pure
panza
tripa.
and the broth.
Yeah.
Here in Texas, when we order menudo, we put hominy in it, so it's like pozole.
Oh,
they
what?
put the grano in there. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
Nah.
that's what. See, that's what I mean. It's different.
It's just
No,
three.
it's
It's all tripe.
Yeah, it's just tripe and the menudo.
Because
But-
I don't like pozole, but I like
Really?
So menudo here when you order a menudo in South Texas, you're gonna get the panza and they're gonna have the grano in it. They're gonna have the hominy in it.
Shit, I might enjoy
Right?
that then.
Yeah, you'll
So
'Cause the
it's
other
just
way
like
I'm like,
pozole.
"Eh."
It's just you're switching the pork
My
out
mom
for
makes
the.
it bomb.
There you go. Now you gotta try some of Shelly's mom's menudo.
Well, I have to try
Oh
it.
man, Des, what is your absolute favorite song to sing? If I said, Des, you're gonna go on the Tonight Show tomorrow night, they don't care what you sing, they just want it to be your favorite song. It might not be your favorite song to listen to, your favorite song to sing. What is it?
It's feeling good, man. Feeling
All right,
good.
give me a little.
Feeling good is my. That's the mic.
The one you sang earlier.
Birds flying high. Yeah. You
That
know
would've
how
been
I
it?
feel. That is my song, dude. It's either that one or Me and Mrs. Jones.
Give me some of that one.
A ver. Me and Mrs. Jones, we've got a thing going on. We both know that it's wrong, but it's much too strong to let it go now. We meet every day at the same cafe, 6:30, and no one knows she'll be there, holding hands, making all kinds of plans, while the jukebox plays our favorite song. Me and Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones.
Wow.
Watch out, Jay.
Hey, easy. Here we go.
I love it, man. I love that song. I love the country.
Hey, bro, that's an amazing song, bro.
Thank
Des,
you.
you have an amazing voice, dude.
Thank you, man.
You
I
have an
appreciate
amazing
you.
voice, and I'm so glad that you could find time in your busy schedule to come and hang out with
It's my pleasure.
Day. I'm really looking forward to what you're gonna bring.
Thank you, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm excited.
I'm excited to just. I'm being quite honest with you. I'm super excited to see what this alpha over here is gonna put you in front of and doing so. This part of the time of the show, towards the end of the show, I like to give the mic to my guests. It's your show, man. Any shout outs, any thank yous, anything you want to do, the mic is yours, brother.
First and foremost, I want to thank you, man, for taking
Yes,
the
sir.
time to have me here. Thank you very much. It's been an honor. And I want to thank the Tejano community and all the fans and supporters out there that have been listening to me and my single and just been, from day one, been giving me such a warm welcome and been so loving to me. And I want to thank all my day ones, my family, my mother, my brother, my wife, my two children, Isaiah and Brendan, and my in-laws for helping me get here to Texas and helping me get settled. And of course, Shelley and all the people on the team that have been helping me make this dream come true, make it a reality. And I hope you guys get buckled in, because we have a lot more in store. And I mean, it's about to be a wild ride, and it's going to be a fast one. So thank you, guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you all.
Hey, you guys heard it here first on Bumpers Wacky Wednesday. He's got a bunch of stuff up their sleeves. I'm sworn to secrecy, and you're messing with Shelley Laris, so you know you better keep the secret, or I'll die. Exactly. You guys heard it first. If I disappear in 3 weeks,
Ya saben que lo hizo.
go look.
Hey, check your wife first.
No, man. But it's been
I get a spot?
it's been an amazing night, an amazing show, super fun. If you guys have so do you have any dates coming up here soon?
Oh, so I do have a show. It's not in Texas. I have a performance over in California at the Ford Amphitheater on September 30th. It's Saturday. It'll be with Lupita Infante, Doris Anaí, Mariachis Lindas Mexicanas. It's called Canciones de mi Madre, which is a reimagining of Linda Ronstadt's most impressionable albums, Canciones de mi Padre. So they invited me to be part of the show, and I'm super honored to be part of it. And people can purchase tickets now on theford.com. And you'll see Lupita's face on there and mine as well, and everybody
That's
else.
a big show, bro. That amphitheater is nice. That's a huge
Yes,
show.
it's Doris Anaí's dream. She actually has a documentary film on Disney Plus called Mija, of her becoming an artist and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was super honored. She reached out to me and asked me to be part of the show with Lupita and them. So I'm super excited, man, and I know that there's going to be more things to come very soon. Hopefully here in Texas, we're going to get the ball rolling as well.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you joined us very late, my guest this evening was Mr. Dez El Gallo, brand new recording artist that falls under Shelley Laris' Shell Shock Records. The guy's he's on his A game. So be looking forward to shows. Hopefully he gets some more shows here in the local area where we can get to see him in his realm. Again, Dez, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for you coming and spending this evening with me. It means a lot to me, and I wish you, honestly, man, I wish you nothing but the best and success in everything that you touch.
Thank you, man.
And as long as you got that little dynamite in your corner, I think you're gonna be steered in the right direction, man.
Thank
so
you.
take it and then absorb every piece, absorb it all, like you said earlier.
Yep,
just absorb it and push forward. Shell, thank you so much for bringing it by. It's always a pleasure to. You can never call Shell and talk 5 minutes. It ain't happening. Well, at least for me, like it's a minimum of at least.
He knows me his whole life.
There you go. It's at least 15 minutes. At least a 15 minutes.
I'm Shoda.
There you
when
go.
It comes to me, I'm Shoda.
So,
Jedi.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tune in next week because we'll have in the studio. I want to say in the studio. Oh, we're gonna have some of the artists that are gonna be on next weekend's August 5th event in Pearland, Texas. So make sure you guys check it out. I think we even have Mr. Jim Luna here. And you guys, there you go. If you guys don't never been around Jim Luna, you guys stay tuned for that show. Des, thank you so much. Shell, thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Tune in, Bumpers Wacky Wednesday.